Alright, YouTube, what's going on? We are back with another exciting project that we can't wait to demo for you here today. And without further ado, let's get started. So, this is a service dog treat feeder, automatic treat feeder for service dogs. So, this was a project that me and my partner Adnan Alam we took on this project under the supervision of Dr. Natalia Pashota and Dr. Christine Neuber. And Dr. Neuber, she would periodically give an update of our progress to Service Dogs of Virginia. So, mighty fine folks over there. We hope that this project benefit them and the many people that they serve to make their lives better and give them higher quality of life. So we hope that this helps out or helps solve the problem that they were trying to find solutions to for a while. And I got to tell you, building a treat feeder like this is a lot harder than you think. But for the time being, we're very happy with this prototype design. Looks like something that might have been done in somebody's basement. Well, it was. It was done in my basement. And may look a little ratchet, homemade, but it gets the job done for the most part, and that's a very good thing. Then we're very satisfied with what it's been able to do. So, the whole purpose of me making this video is to not only give you a rundown of different parts of this design and different aspects of it, but also as a kind of a guide and a explanation of some of the things that still need to be improved upon in this design. It's obviously not perfect. It's a prototype. So there's some things that can obviously be improved, but that is for the future group of students that Dr. Peixoto will be supervising very soon. They will take on this project and try to build upon what we have already constructed here and make this even better than we could have imagined. So without further ado, let's kind of just zoom in a little bit here and kind of give you a bird's eye view, close-up view of what's going on here, so you can see immediately there's a lot of mechanical design. There was a lot of mechanical engineering thinking that went into here. And you'd be right. About 90, maybe 85, 90% of this whole project was mechanical engineering. I mean, like, we're talking about, well, one of the requirements is that this thing had to be food safe. So we have some PVC pipe that is typically used to carry water between houses. So it's safe to carry water. It's got to be safe to carry dog treats. That's my assumption. Then this container here that is used to house the treats. So it's a plastic container that you can get for, like, I don't know, dieting or whatnot. But it's a Tupperware container. It's a perfect size. I love the size of it. I thought it was perfect for housing a couple of dog treats, maybe about 20, 50, I don't know, but it has a good size to it. There's a removable top as well, and these containers are dishwasher safe as well, which is also a great plus in case you want to wash these out. And it just slides on there. It has like a PVC pipe coupling. Not sure if that's a technical term for it, but we'll go with that. Let me know in the in the comments if I got that wrong. But this was just glued onto the side, onto the bottom of this, and we made a nice hole. So there, I'm not sure if you can see. Let's turn it this way. Yeah, there we go. So there's a hole there. And I stick my finger in there. Just prove to you there's a hole. So there's a hole here. So that the treats can slide down. So they'll all just slide down that hole and make their way down the PVC pipe until they get to this Lego stopper here, which is inside the PVC pipe. You can see this angle there. So one end of it is connected to the servo blade, and then the other end of it is inside of the PVC pipe. And the whole idea of the this device is that button that be attached to a wheelchair, somebody will have this, is connected to the GPIO pin of the Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is continuously reading this GPIO pin, checking if the button has been pressed or not, right? And if it has been pressed, if it hasn't been pressed, it's just going to sit in the state that it is right now, that you see right now, right? Stopper's not moved, everything's nice and chill, right? Everything's cool. But then when somebody presses a button, something has a change of state. And then when somebody presses a button, say the dog went and retrieved a remote from off the floor or whatnot, and person in the wheelchair wants to give dog a treat. All he or she has to do is press the button, and the stopper will come out of the PVC pipe, push itself back in real quickly, and then treats will dispense their way down the PVC pipe into a nice fancy dancy stainless steel dog bowl. All right. We purchased this from some pet store. Stainless steel. It's a little deep, which could be a problem for dogs that don't have really long noses. But I guess we're just going to have to see how well it works and how well the dog will be able to get the treats out. So we could make it lower, but I don't know. We'll see how that works. That's one of the problems that needs to be addressed in the next design. Probably make this bowl, find a bowl that's of the same material, but it's a little shorter in height, which that would be optimal. Almost like a petri dish, almost kind of stainless steel petri dish. I'm not sure if this is, but that would be cool. Anyway, where was I? So they trickle down the PVC pipe and there's a dog bowl. And so that's just basically it. You press a button, boom. Press a button, boom. Boom. Treats dispense, right? Press a button, treats dispense down the tubing into the bowl, right? That's the electronics part. Everything else is mechanical, moving the servo, all of the other components were really just careful consideration of where we wanted all this stuff to be on the device, because we didn't want it to be bulky. We didn't want everything to be like completely on top of each other. That's kind of a problem. But we didn't want to make something completely huge that was 100 pounds, and it's just almost impossible to mount, right? So being able to mount this thing easily to a wheelchair is one thing that we wanted this thing to be able to do. It's obviously a key component, right? And we wanted it to be food safe, and we wanted it to be sturdy as well. The whiteboard gives it a lot of sturdiness, serving as the base. It kind of looks like a basketball hoop, right? And you got this white part here. This holds the bowl. There's a holder for the bowl. So this little ring here came with this bowl, so they go together as a set, which is really nice. Saves us a lot of time, because mounting the bowl was something that I had nightmares about, because I was not exactly sure how we were going to do that in a way that would be sturdy. But this part takes care of this. So this this white piece here. I'm just turning it around so you can see it. You may notice if you have a shelf in your, or anywhere in your house really, so sliding drawers that come out. That said shelf. I meant drawer. My bad. Sliding drawers. This is one of the pieces that allows it to slide up and down. So we just use that as kind of a brace to kind of hold the bowl holder in place. And that's just held in by some screws on the back there, and you take them out easily with a wrench or something like that. They're not that hard to get out, but kind of holds that in place. And then get the bowl holder at the bottom, which comes with its own screw and whatnot. So all that's very sturdy back there. And then the Raspberry Pi, this is being held in place inside of a 3-inch PVC pipe cap. And you can kind of see what I did here is I kind of just sawed off a piece of it, just big enough to fit the Raspberry Pi inside this little hole here. It just keeps it inside. I call it my Raspberry Pi garage because it kind of looks like a garage that's kind of high and vision. So you just slide it up in and out of there, and it works pretty well. But yeah, that's about it from the actual device. Now, one of the things that's kind of also important about this project is the software. So right now, this thing, when you plug it in, the Raspberry Pi is automatically running the code to read the GPIO pin from the button. And then if it's pressed, it moves the servo, right? That program is automatically running each time you give the Raspberry Pi power. So if I unplug this right now, right, and plug it back in, and give it maybe a couple of seconds to boot up, and then should be able to press it about now. Still booting. All right, there you go. All right, so there's no need for me to go SSH into anything. No need for me to connect it to a monitor and start running the code. And the code is just running automatically. And optimally, what you want for anyone who's doing this project in the future, you want to when you're designing your tree feeder, you want your code to be running automatically on the development board or microcontroller, whatever you're using. That way, the user doesn't have to pull up an app to SSH into a device and run the code on it. Right, it's just running automatically. Any application or any type of electronic device that you open up or that you buy, right? Stuff's just running automatically. You don't need to do any extra work usually to get it to work. So I'm going to show you just a little bit what you'd need to do to do that. So I'm coming over to my computer here. Whoops. Oh, that's why. I unplugged the. For 1 second. 1 second here. Apologies. So I'm just going to show you what you'd have to do basically to make a script to automatically run your code on your Raspberry Pi so that you can run the controls software automatically on boot up. So I'm going to go to my directory here where I keep my files, and let's see. I don't open it like that. 1 second. Give it documents. Okay. All right, so you can see here, this is it's a script file. I have it called startup.h, and basically what I have here is just two files here that's gonna run. It's gonna run cleanup.py, which is just cleans up all the GPIO pins. So sometimes I'm cleaning up the GPIO pins properly. It might cause some very hard to debug errors. We could waste a lot of time. So just make sure necessary protocol every time you're using a GPIO pin, you reset it back to the original state. It's kind of, leave things the way you found them, right? That kind of principle. And then this second line, that actually is the actual software that the Raspberry Pi is running all the time to control the servo and read the button input from the GPIO pin. Those two programs are just run back to back in a script, and this script is run on startup. So you compile your C code or debug complete your Python code. That was a tongue twister. And you put both of those files, or how many files you need, how many of those you need, doesn't matter. You just put them all in this one script file, sh file, name it myfile.sh or my startup file.sh, right? Put it in, you save it somewhere, right? And just make sure you use these path names. And once you do that, you also want to make sure that it's executable. So you want to do change mode u plus x startup dot sh. All right, so you want to make sure it's executable. So yeah, so it's executable for everyone. And the reason you want to do that is so that you can run it from a different directory. So once you have done that, you want to type in cron tab -e. Okay, sorry for the shaky camera here. And then this is where the magic happens right here. So what this command does, so when you open this up for the first time, if you've never run the cron tab command on your Raspberry Pi before, you might get some prompts saying, "Oh, this is the first time you're doing this. Do you want to?" They'll give you the disclaimer. Make sure you didn't, type this by mistake. So once you get past all those menus and prompts, right, you'll see this, and you'll see this line will be gone, right? And you'll just basically be left with this. So what you want to do is you just want to press enter after this line, this command line, right? And you want to type in this, right? @reboot, so the @ sign, like the @ symbol on your email address, sudo sh home, and then this part would be whatever is appropriate to you, right? If you're using Mobax firm, which I'm using here, which is nice. You want to SSH into your Raspberry Pi, you can basically just go over to this part. If you don't want to use Linux commands, and you can navigate to the directory that contains your sh file, and you can copy it up here. So you just copy it, or Control C, right? And you paste it inside this line here. You just put another slash at the end, or no, the slash is already there. You just put your file name here. That's the script file that you wrote earlier that I showed you, and tack on this ampersand sign that you can create another thread once everything is booted up on your Pi. And doing this, writing this line here, will ensure that your program is running once the Raspberry Pi is booted up and completed all its initial tasks and set up the hardware and whatnot. And then once you're done writing that line, you want to do Control X, and well, it says no modification made because I didn't do anything to it, but it will show you some sort of message once you do that it has created a cron-tab file for you. And then once you're confident everything's working, you can reboot your Raspberry Pi and see if it works. So I apologize for the long video. I may have lost track of thought in a couple of places. I even spoke a couple of places. But let me know if anything did not make any sense, or if there was something that I showed you or explained to you I didn't explain it well, or I just didn't understand what I was saying. Let me know in the comments, and I'll try to explain it a little better. I always appreciate the feedback and suggestions. But yeah, that's basically all this is. This is it's a very inspiring project. A lot of man hours. Because we really wanted to make this work. We really wanted to help a lot of people out. It's really a project that you can definitely see the results of your work with. And we hope that people of Service Dogs of Virginia, we really hope this helps them out. I want to thank Dr. Neuber and Dr. Peixoto for their support and all they have done helping us on this project, giving us tips, giving us guidance, whatnot. We really appreciated it. But yeah, if there are any more questions, be sure to leave a comment down below. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.